Well, do you want to know how to be productive as a couple? That's the question that we get asked a lot. And so we decided to just do a quick little conversation about how you can be productive, not only as a couple, but be a productive couple and definitely keep the busyness away from your relationship.
Welcome to Unique Couples Sunday Night Live with Vito and Linda Patrick. Have a comment, question, or want to connect with us further? Stick around to learn how. This is how to be productive as a couple.
Yay.
So you want to make sure stick around so you can know what to do so you can be productive as a couple. Welcome back to Unique Couples Sunday Night Live. We are Vito and Linda Patrick, and this evening we are talking on the topic how to be a productive couple. So go ahead and let us know where you are watching from. Let us know how many years you've been married. Hashtag Live Squad. Also, for those of you that'll be watching the replay, go ahead and put in there hashtag replay. If you haven't subscribed to the Unique Couples YouTube channel, you want to go ahead and subscribe, and you want to turn on that notification bell and select all so you can know every time we go live here at Unique Couples.
Yeah, so remember, we want to hear your takeaways. So go ahead and share some of your takeaways with us, the points that stood out to you, and then share with us some of the things that you can do to be productive as a couple.
Yes.
You know, you could be a productive couple and you can be productive as a couple as well. And we definitely want to do both. Okay. So we're going to share, I've got 3 points today on 3 ways you can be productive as a couple, because you're doing it together. And if you're working or doing anything with your spouse outside of the home, you want to be a productive couple. But even if you're just working in your home as a family unit, you want to find ways to be productive as a couple as well, working together in harmony. And so we want to share those tips with you, some of the things that we do and have done to make sure that we are being productive. Yes. Okay, so I think we're ready for number 1.
Yeah, so number 1, yes, identify the goals you want to achieve individually and as a couple.
Yes.
Sometimes challenges occur in marriage because individuals don't know or haven't communicated their goals to their spouse. So you want to make sure that if there's an individual goal, your spouse knows about it. If there's a goal as a couple, both of you know about it. So you can now work together on achieving those goals, because the two of you are now one team. Yes. Linda and I, we are the Patrick's team. So the goals that we have, we now will talk about it so we can accomplish these goals and we have to do it together.
Yes, yes. And when you talk about the problems that couples face, and it's because of not knowing what you want, what your values are, what are the things that are important to you, and if you don't communicate it with your spouse, then that becomes an issue because you're, let's say, as a wife, you're about doing all of these different things, but you haven't communicated that to your spouse, or that will indeed cause problems in your relationship. So you have to know what it is you want. You have to be concise and clear to be able to communicate it to your spouse, and then you two can work together on creating their couples plan and vision plans. You'll hear us talk about that a lot and more, but you'll hear more about that later. But do it together so that you can be on the same page and you can work on being productive. Because if he doesn't know, like Vito would tell me, hey, if you don't express it, you don't get it. So be concise and clear and be able to express yourself to your spouse, and both of you do that for each other. So that was number one. We're ready for number two.
Number two, work together to help each other achieve their goals.
Yes.
This may mean exchanging roles or taking on new roles. Be willing to support each other beyond just words.
Yeah.
Let your actions show that you are supporting your spouse 100%.
Yeah.
So yes, if your spouse has a goal they want to achieve, you have to help them. I can recall Linda would have had some goals some years ago, and it took her out of the evening schedule, where she wasn't home in the evening, and things still got done at home in the evening. So when I came home from work, I would now make sure the kids were picked up, that the homework was done, dinner was cooked. I was making sure all those things were done, because for that short duration where her evening schedules were gone, I would now fill in that gap. And I was able to do that because we know ahead of time that, yes, these particular evenings, Linda won't be home. So obviously life goes on. The clock is ticking. So I now have to step in.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes I think we get kind of like mixed up with, this is the wife's children. Like, it's just the wife's children. Like, it's my children. No, but it's our children.
Yeah.
And so we have to be able to work and relate to them as well. And that helped us in our relationship and in our marriage, and working together as a couple and doing business and all of that stuff, because it helped us to be more productive, because one person isn't in charge of something and nobody else can do it, and if it's not done by that individual, then it's not done. Or for us to feel as if, okay, you're the mother, so you have to do all of these things, or you're the father and you do only these things. And so when we kind of like blend our roles when it's needed for the family, it helps us to be more productive. So sometimes the roles may have to adjust and change, but that's okay. And I'm so glad I am not in that period anymore, or during that time frame where I was not available during the evening and stuff. And, our kids had to go through it, but we made sure that it was seamless for them to be able to still be at home, still be able to enjoy the comforts of home. And I'm happy for the wives who don't even have to make that sacrifice, who stay at home moms, or persons who don't. That is absolutely fabulous. But that was just a time that we had in our relationship, and we had to navigate around it. So you can make it work. We made it work. You can make it work.
Yes. For those of you that are just tuning in today, we are talking about how to be a productive couple.
How to be productive as a couple. Yes. Want to make sure, make it clear.
Productive as a couple.
Yes, definitely. And you could be a productive couple as well. But hey, we want to make sure you get that, because you're doing it together, and that makes a difference. So if you are a couple, you're either in business together, or you're just doing life together and loving, and maybe sometimes working with and around your children, you will definitely need this. And if you're empty nesters, guess what? This could apply to you as well. So if you need to connect, communicate, collaborate with your spouse, and you want to increase the intimacy and excitement in your relationship, then you definitely have to join us. Go ahead and put couples connection in the chat or message us. Couples connection, join us for that. And it is designed to get you and your spouse closer. Okay. It promotes intimacy, insight, and intentionality during the course of, hey, we have it for 21 days, but you can do it in less time if you want to. So go ahead, join us, find out more about our 21-day couples connection challenge, and join us for that incredible event for you and your spouse.
Yes.
So we did number one, yes, we did number two. We're talking about how to be productive as a couple. Like we said, we get asked that question and people are like, oh, how do you do it? And then it's not really about how do I do it? It's a lot. The question is really why, but also my secret sauce is my husband, because we do it together. Yes. Yeah. So he is the secret ingredient. You have to get your own secret ingredients, but he's my secret ingredient. Okay. So he's the one who, that's my superpower. Make sure everything gets done. And that's how one of the things that we do, because we do it together, make sure we're being productive as a couple. So we're ready for number three.
Yes. Number three, outsource what you can.
Oh, yes. I love this one.
You don't have to do everything yourself.
Yes.
This will take some of the burden off of you as a couple. Apply this to your business as well, so you can enjoy more quality time with each other.
Yeah.
So this is important. You don't have to do everything yourself, or outsource some things. And it can be even some of the chores around the house. You can make a sacrifice where carry lunch to work every day or 2 weeks out of the month, and the same funds that you would have used to buy lunch every day, you can now use those funds to pay someone to come in and help you out with some of those chores. Because if you don't have to do those chores, you now have time back on your hands where you can spend with your spouse.
Ooh, and guess what? The most important, I hope I'm saying it correctly, but the most important thing that you have is time.
Yes.
That's the most important. I'm looking for the word, but anyway, I'll find it
Once
later.
That time is gone, you don't get it back.
You don't get it back. So it's the most important commodity. Yes. Time is the most important. So if you can find ways to get more time so that you and your spouse can work together, so that you and your spouse, like your ladies, you're not so tired and drained and boggled down because you're busy doing everything else inside the home, outside the home, around the home, and just trying to do life and everything else, that you get so tired that you neglect the time for you and your spouse. Yes. So you don't want to make that an issue. So in order to be productive, you might have to give up something, but to gain even more. So I like how you said, skip out on some of those other things so that you can kind of like buy back your time by getting help. And if you're reserved and you're like, I don't want nobody in my, some of the things we have to just kind of like get over and make sure that the main thing is the main thing, which is making sure ultimately that you and your spouse have that quality time together so you can indeed be productive and no one has to feel resentment.
Yes. Let us know what was your favorite takeaway. Yes. Also, if there is something that we didn't mention, go ahead and put it in the chat.
We want to hear from you.
How to be productive as a couple. What do you have to do? Go ahead, put it in the chat. Let us know.
Yes, and go ahead and share. You never know who you are helping because we don't want to hear, oops, someone else is facing the D word just because they didn't take the time out to be intentional about working on their relationship. And it's the little things that will make the big difference. Yes. So go ahead and share with someone so that they too can gain some insights and maybe try a thing or two that is different. Okay, so we love you all. Go ahead and continue. Go ahead and follow our page. If you have not signed up for our unique couples connection challenge, go ahead and do so. Join us in our How to Strengthen Your Marriage Facebook group. We are opening up our club back for new persons, so look out for the invitation for that as well.
Yes, we had fun sharing with you here today on Unique Couple Sunday Night Live. Have a great rest of the evening and have an awesome week. Here at Unique Couples, we are building stronger couples, healthier marriages, and happier families. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.